All right, guys, let's connect it up here. Coming at you for Halloween, October 31st, 2021 live stream coming at you. 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, East Coast time, wherever you're at. Hopefully you're having a good holiday. If you celebrate Halloween, if you don't, if you had a party last night, if you're giving out candy, trick-or-treaters, little kids, whoever. Hopefully you're safe and sound on there too. So let's wait to the YouTube to connect on here. So also have some Fight For Us book news that I want to talk about. So I have watched World Beyond Season 2, Episode 6, and Fear the Walking Dead Season 7. Is it Episode 4? Can't keep track of what number we're on and what's this week, next week AMC, but I believe that's what it is. So what's going on, my PT peeps, my Walking Dead family, and my fighters? I'm One-Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm going to talk about the Walking Dead universe. So obviously, spoiler warning for all things Walking Dead. Happy Halloween, guys, to you, yours, your family, everybody around. If you're giving out candy, I know I have a bowl of candy ready to go. My wife got some candy, and it was like last weekend, and I was like, we don't really have anything in case trick-or-treaters come. So we got some stuff just in case. The past couple of years have been, well, last year, nothing, obviously. But the past couple of years before COVID was 5, maybe 6 trick-or-treaters. That's it. And it's not really a lot. Being Sunday, maybe we get more. Maybe we get less. I don't know. But either way, guys, we're here to talk about the Walking Dead universe. So I made a video that I'm ready to talk about some spoiler stuff for filming. Some recent filming photos came out and we shared them. I made a video and I was going to post it today. It'll either be today or tomorrow. I'm just not sure if, whatever you guys want to do, maybe tomorrow, but maybe later today. Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 has been decent. It's kind of like not sure where they're going with some of the writing. The sets have looked pretty lackluster when they're out and about and they're actually in open field, open terrain, open areas. So it's pretty obvious that they're using sets in 703, 704, more of the same. It just looks off. Like you can use a set, but disguise it somewhat better. It may be the backdrop and the trees that are there. I don't know what it is, but if you saw 703, you definitely know what I'm talking about. If you saw 704, hopefully you know what I'm talking about too there. So we'll talk about the latest episodes of The World Beyond and Fear the Walking Dead in the last half hour. So I want to get to some book news that it's available. Again, I think I said it last week, but either way, it's available on paperback and digital format on Kindle. I just wanted to share with you again, and I'm excited to share with you guys. I won't bring it up next time just because it was recent news. It's October, and I wanted to get it out in October. So I'm going to work on In 100 Days Part 3, the 3-part series of that, and then how it connects, how it doesn't, where it goes with certain characters, and the greater scheme of the Fight For Us franchise. That'll be coming out later next year. So I'm going to start working on that. Got to get the characters together, where we left off in the story, and kind of get stuff together for it. So, but I appreciate taking the time here. Mark, Cammy, Jonah, who's behind you, bro? Well, Peter Griffin, some cutouts there. I don't know, but nobody, I don't think so. Negan 1, Jonah, Sasha Allen, and Roy Threer. So he asked, how many seasons do you see of Fear? Do you soft Fear? So it probably means, do you think Fear will have? Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I could see it being next season be it. Maybe they want to get, I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. I don't know how it's going to go down. Thank you, Sasha. Ordered the book, Bri. Thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully Mike's away with the Army again, so hopefully he's safe and sound. It's always good to know if the status of people when they go away, and hopefully it's just training or somewhere that's not in a danger zone, but I hope it'll be all right. But Fear the Walking Dead is the outlier because World Beyond is going to be 2 seasons. It's going to be done. Season 11 is the final season of the Walking Dead main show, but then we have spinoffs and where they're going with that. And then also Fear the Walking Dead. Now, Fear the Walking Dead has connections with the Walking Dead, with Dwight, Morgan, Sherry, CRM, But are they going to come back to the Walking Dead show before it ends? That would be pretty great if it did. Not sure what their plan is. I doubt it personally, but I'm just not sure too. So Donnie Mann says, you rock, PT. Have you heard anything new on the Rig movies? So it probably means the Rick movies. But no, actually, Andrew Lincoln, a bunch of photos came up yesterday or 2 days ago, recently, very recently, that he's with his wife and probably family in Barbados. No beard, looking kind of ripped, looking like Andrew Lincoln that we know from The Walking Dead. He's on vacation. So I guess he's done filming his Netflix thing, that show that he was supposed to be on. I believe it was Netflix. But no news about the movie or movies. I personally think they're not going to start filming at earliest. They would start filming is March, April next year when the main show ends. They can get that together and start filming that. I would love to hear some news about it. So I don't know. Sadie Lewis, did we see Fear 704? I've seen it. I'll talk about that in the last half hour. So in about 24 minutes, I will talk about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 7, Episode 4. Overall, it's interesting. Fear the Walking Dead, it's not a bad season. It's just not great. The writing is kind of wishy-washy, and I'll talk more about that in the last half hour. It's okay. It's something to watch. So there was a pretty big thing happened. Well, not like huge, but a pretty big thing happened in 704. I don't want to give it away, but I'll talk about that, like I said, the last half hour. Now, World Beyond, don't know if Fear the Walking or World Beyond is going to actually give us something more than Jadis and what Jadis is going to tell us about Rick and where she was for the past 6 years. And hopefully we get a lot of information out of Jadis, right? Because she's our main connection with the World Beyond, Civic Republic, Walking Dead, Rick movies, evidently. I just hope that there's more to it. And I don't want to give anything away just yet, but Jadis is in 206, and she looks like she's going to be in some of the remaining episodes for the rest of Season 2. Don't know if it's the remaining episodes altogether, but she's going to be in a couple more episodes, I believe. Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, happy Halloween, everyone. What's your favorite scary movie? That's a great poll question, John Wilder. Great question there. So we'll open it up to the question here to everybody. That'll be our poll question. What is your favorite scary movie? Sasha Allen says, there actually is a Major Beale? We don't know. We haven't seen him. We have not seen Major Beale. There's only been clippings in the newspaper, and Elizabeth Kublik has talked about this person. So Major General Beale, we just don't know. John Rod, what up, Bri? What up, John Rod? My favorite scary movie, that's a good question. I like, let's actually turn it into, what's your favorite zombie movie? We'll go that. We'll go favorite zombie movie too. So I'm not the biggest horror movie, scary movie kind of thing. I like Scream. I like, I haven't really seen The Shining too much. I haven't really seen too many other movies like that. The recent movies like Halloween and stuff, just, they don't really do anything for me. But, if we're going like scary movie, zombie apocalypse, one of my favorite zombie movies for sure is Dawn of the Dead, when they're in the mall, the later one by Zack Snyder. And it's just, I think you have to have a mall in the zombie apocalypse. Like, you just have to have something that is there. Train to Busan. It's like Busan is how they say it. But it just sounds better, Train to Busan. It just sounds better to me. But Train to Busan is good. I like that. It's a Korean movie that's dubbed over. And there's at least one guy I know from the Squid Game show on Netflix is the same actor there. I believe the main character in Train to Busan is the guy that has the recruiter, the red or blue, is how you play that. I believe that's the same guy there too. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm loving some of these options. I just love the interaction, and it's good stuff. But overall, guys, Walking Dead is still filming. I'm glad they averted the strike from the recent stuff with the production stuff and different hours and different benefits or whatever they were trying to fight for. Hopefully they got that under control, because The Walking Dead has been filming. I don't really know much about Fear the Walking Dead filming, if they wrapped, if they're done. I would think they're got to be done, if not close to done, too. So, TY25 says, Army of the Dead was decent. Keen for Army of Thieves. So I just watched the trailer for Army of Thieves, which is the prequel to Army of the Dead. The guy who cracked the safe is the main, if not one of the main characters in Army of Thieves. It's definitely a connection of that story of Army of the Dead, and I believe Zack Snyder has a multi-movie deal with Netflix for different things of Army of the Dead, Army of Thieves, and whatever else they want to have, Army of the, whatever, insert word after Army of the. So we'll see how it goes. But overall, it's pretty cool to see just what's going on with, movies and everything. And, I haven't really seen too many latest. I haven't seen Dune yet. I don't know if anybody has, if you liked it or not. I know the first one was, I got through it, but it's kind of tough to watch, and I just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth to watch a remake of it. I'm sure it's going to be better graphically, better, hopefully, story, actors. There's a lot of great actors in it. So we just haven't watched it yet myself. So we'll have to see where it goes from there with later movies this year. And I'm kind of excited to see what happens, with the future of movies down the road, too. I hope more and more stuff gets on demand at home because it's kind of cool to watch some movies, too. Jonathan Wiles says, Q&A, did you see Jeepers Creepers 4 trailer? Can't wait to see the movie. I've only seen the first Jeepers Creepers. I didn't even know there was a third one. I know there was a second one, but I never saw after the first Jeepers Creepers because it was pretty cheesy. Just like the Blair Witch movie. That was like so cheesy because it was one of those things where it was all hype. It was like they were in the woods and I think someone actually died filming this. And then you go there and they're walking around the woods and where's the map? I lost the map. Where's this? The woods were lost. And they go in and then the camera drops and pff, that's it. That's like the whole movie. Just what? So I don't know. Kenny says Dune was excellent. I wouldn't. Roy Threer says, should I watch Blair Witch? If you want to, I don't think so. But Fireman 007 says, do you think General Bell, so General Beale, is a nickname for Rick Grimes? No. I didn't want to read the rest of the question. So I highly doubt that Rick Grimes is General Beale. And I don't know if that's a theory going around by people or the community or channels or whatever, because it's just so ridiculous how everybody wants a major connection with Rick. And I want it too. It's ridiculous on two folds. It's ridiculous that Gimple and Negretti and whoever else is involved with World Beyond is not giving us major connections with the Walking Dead universe, Rick, and however. Now, their hands may be tied because of the Rick movies or whatever, but everybody wants connections. Like, what if Rick he's in this building, or he was in Omaha and he blew up and Rick's there and he got away. Maybe he's in Portland. We haven't seen Portland at all, right? No, it's just going to be every crazy theory under the sun. I'm going to talk about that more in the last half hour because it pertains to the episode a little bit. But it's just kind of crazy how it goes with everybody's connections, where we all want Rick Grimes to show up again. We all want that. We want Rick to be around. We want Rick, Michonne, Morgan, Daryl, Carol, Judith, RJ. We want all these people to be reunited. Big, happy family, big story connection. And instead, we get 4 kids, teenagers, doing whatever they do, trying to be living in a zombie apocalypse, right? And it's just okay for what it is, but people are got to be pissed off when it has nothing to do with Rick. Fear the Walking Dead, it's going to be the same questions. Is Madison coming around? Is Morgan coming back to The Walking Dead? Is Sherry and Dwight ever going to come back? What if Sherry, Dwight, and Morgan come back to The Walking Dead? They see Negan. Dwight is pissed off, and he takes out Negan. Or Sherry does, right? Or what if, Dwight can't come back because Austin Emilio is not allowed because of what happened on set with John Bernecker and everything there, which I haven't ever found to be true. That's just almost like an urban legend or speculation or alleged stuff. I just don't ever see that anywhere what it is, but that's what the word is, what people have spread around town is the Walking Dead universe and the Walking Dead fandom and community is like high school. I heard that she said that he said that she got the part because of this, and this person's not allowed to come here, and they left because he was going to do this, and they killed off Carl because he was going to do this, and he wanted to go to college, and Gimpo did that, and it's like all these he said, she said, this thing, and that said. It's just too much speculation and too many people talking about so many different things that then the writers don't say anything. Well, you never know. Madison can come back around. Just keep watching. Never say never. Right? What is she on Padre? Is Madison there on Padre? South Padre Island or whatever it's supposed to be. Whatever Padre comes back around in Fear the Walking Dead. Is going to be Madison and Alicia there? And Madison takes out Strand, or Alicia takes out Strand, or somebody better take out Strand, right? Because I don't want to see Strand. Strand's the villain, but Strand needs to go. Strand is part of the original cast and whatever, but Strand is really going full villain mode. And, villains need to go. That's just how it works. They have their time. If Strand lives after season 7, it's just crappy writing. And I feel like he is. Like, I feel the way it's going. If you look at the photo, you see Strand and you see Morgan, and they're coming at each other. It's Strand versus Morgan. Who's going to win? Who's going to happen, right? So it just doesn't make sense if Strand lives at all, because Morgan doesn't mess around. Strand tried to kill Morgan, and Morgan lived because Morgan don't die, Cray Morgan should come back around and take out Strand. Strand is definitely something that is a villain, has really been a villain. He's not an anti-hero. Like people love to say that. That's definitely Deadpool type of person like that, or a character like that. Strand is, I look out for myself. I don't care what's going to happen to anybody else. If people get caught in collateral damage for what I want, that's fine. But it just makes sense for Strand to eventually be the villain, and I'm glad they've done that, which is about time. It just took 7 seasons for that to happen. It probably should have took 4, but 7 seasons. They're going to stretch it out and, make it go longer and longer and longer. That's for sure. But some of the newer things that I've liked, I don't mind Morgan being on the show. I don't mind Dwight and Sherry. I'm glad they finally found each other. I don't mind John Dory Sr. I actually like John Dory Sr. because he's definitely I like Keith Carradine. He does a great job on the show. And I do like the characters that they've brought on. John Dory Jr. or John Dory, whatever number he is. But, Garrett Dillahunt did a great job on the show. It makes it feel like authentic, like you like these characters, and that's where it is. And then, boop, gone. They kill off characters. When characters that are still alive, like Luciana, Charlie, just there's really not much for those characters, in my opinion. They are the type of characters that survive to the end. But the characters that we love and care about, they get killed off because it's impactful. If a character dies off and we don't care, what's the point of it, right? Who cares? It doesn't hit us at all. They want to build up the characters, make us love them, like make us care about them, and then pull on the heartstrings, and then boop, something happens. Or it's like, oh, I can't believe it. Like, I do think it was I think it was a bad decision to kill off Glenn and Abraham. Like, you could have and probably should have killed off one character and then killed off another character later on that same season. So if it was Abraham or Glenn and then Abraham in the war or towards the war, it would have been a better approach in my opinion. But I don't write for the show and I don't have any power with that, but I just thought it would have been better for it. Jonathan Wilder says, Q&A, what if Carl had survived but Rick still left the show, but instead of Michonne looking for Rick, why not have Carl look for Rick? That would be great, but Carl, that just can't happen. I mean, Carl got killed off in season 8. It would have been really cool to have old man Carl, to have the weapons and the gear and to be that. Like, we thought that would have been a thing. Like, there was all this different artwork and all this different theories and all this different speculation. Like, Carl will be the last man standing. It goes back to Robert Kirkman saying Carl Grimes can carry the comic. The comic does not need Rick at this point in the comic. They killed Rick off. They were like, okay, we're going to, because it was a monthly issue, right? 1 month, too. So it doesn't make sense to me that they just kill Rick. They kill Rick off, and then it lasts one more issue. if they said all these big things about Carl carrying the show and then you don't follow through with it. So you say a lot, doesn't make sense. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. But either way, it is what it is. We got what we got. Issues 192 and 193 weren't bad. They were good. It was a good way to end it, but it could have happened in a different way. It would have been cool to see 200 issues of the comic, but instead they only made it to 193. Fun fact, guys, it was 11 years ago today that The Walking Dead aired on AMC. It was Halloween 2010. Crazy to think that our world is 11 years ago changed forever when The Walking Dead came on television. It could have been a one season and that's it. It could have been a one-hit wonder. It could have been a what like Jericho. That was a good show. It lasted 2 seasons, but really 1.5 seasons. So 1.5 seasons could have stretched out to 3-4 seasons. Walking Dead. Imagine if it was only 1 or 2 seasons when, the people started to leave the show and the showrunner started to leave and stuff started to fall apart. It really could have been gone, which would have sucked because like it, hate it, love it, I don't know, whatever you want to feel about The Walking Dead, it changed the game of TV and production and zombie apocalypse stuff forever. Right? So I know that the big thing with it is that it hasn't been good since, for a lot of people, seasons 4, 5, and 6. Like, that's the pinnacle of The Walking Dead. And it is. Every show has great seasons, not so good seasons. When you get close to when you get past probably 6 seasons of a show, there's some downfall of it. There's not that great of stuff. Like The Office. It's a really good amount of seasons until Michael Scott leaves. Then they're filling people in with this guy and that guy and Idris Elba and all this stuff. And you're like, what am I watching here? It's still got the bulk of the characters, but it's still not the same. And it carries on. And it's got some good episodes, but more, it's not as good as when Michael Scott was there, right? So either way, the Walking Dead franchise, game-changing, changed my life forever, my viewpoint, shows, movies, writing a book series, just being involved with it, having this channel, it just was great. I've had a lot of fun with it, a lot of friends, a lot of people that I never would have met ever at conventions or on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. It's great. It's a great thing. It's the glue that binds us, The Walking Dead. And it's crazy to think that was, 11 years ago. Your life can change in a second, in a minute, in a day, a week, month, year. But it can change so quick. Like, imagine where you were 11 years ago and where you are today. The Walking Dead wasn't in your life like it is now. Somebody wasn't in your life like they are now. Your jobs, your cars, your living situation, your house, your family. It's just different, It's just crazy to think about. If you put it in perspective, wow, my life has been changed so much in the past year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. You look back, some good, some bad. Life's all about ups and downs, that's for sure. Mark, Q&A, Bri, do you think Fear the Walking Dead will move locations due to the second Fallout? I think so, but the way it's going, they just go away from it in Texas. I'll talk about that in the last half hour. I would love for them to go to Nebraska. I would love to see that. And then be more connected with the Civic Republic. I just don't think they are. I think, Fear the Walking Dead to me should have been a huge branch, not a second tree of the Walking Dead universe. And I feel that's what it's wanted to be from the very beginning. Robert Kirkman and the original showrunner, Dave Erickson, he wanted it to be its own thing, its own show. Well, then make it its own thing and its own show. Don't put Walking Dead in the title. Call it anything you want. But you have Fear the Walking Dead. So it's clearly connected to the Walking Dead universe. And I'm sure they were like, hey, The Walking Dead, it's a great show, revolutionary, changed things, 17 million viewers at its peak. Seasons 4, 5, and 6 changed the game. And then you're like, if we love it, more of it is what we should get, right? But Fear the Walking Dead really missed the boat, and some people are like, Fear the Walking Dead's better than The Walking Dead. I highly disagree with that. But ultimately, people love it. People love to root for like different things. Like whatever the bulk of what people like, they go for the underdog or they go for the different things. I'll never forget, and I've told you this before in a bunch of different live streams, that I had a friend back in the day, and she was like, I don't like, Jerry Bruckheimer films or Will Smith movies or this movies or these movies because they're big budget and they're this and that. Well, okay, but what if you do like the movie? Like, what if you're not going to watch it because it's a Jerry Bruckheimer or whatever movie? It's just ridiculous. It was a ridiculous mindset. And the person is probably still that viewpoint today. So I'm sure they never saw like Armageddon or whatever the big movies are, like it's just ridiculous mindset too. So, but people see that and you can't change them. So just like I want to talk about something real quick, guys, my red object, red color theory in the Walking Dead universe. I bring it up from time to time and it rings true a lot of different times, right? I mean, go back to season 1 with Amy and the red bucket going, to Fear the Walking Dead, season 7. It's just happened. Objects, lanterns, colors, blankets, whatever it is, it's there to stand out. It's there to put emphasis on it, and people get mad about it. People agree with it. People disagree with it. People write comments about it like they like it, enjoy it, disagree with it. And it's pretty hilarious when people are like, red's a color, man. It's not everything. It's all around us. What deal is it? Why don't you have a blue theory, a green theory, an orange theory, this theory? Orange theory, the workout thing. No, it's just crazy. And then they're like, calm down, bro, calm down. Me, I'm defending myself and responding. And they're like, there's no need to get mad. Well, the person that's talking about it is what it is. But the red theory has been pretty true pretty much every season for different things. And like Negan 1 says, red means dead Star Trek. So a red shirt, that's clearly an emphasis there too. And it stands out. It's a warning. It's symbolic. There's more to it. And you can't teach people, if people are so closed-minded, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to, you can't tell them anything. They're just going to see it as what it is. And you can have arguments and fights and disagreements and discussions, whatever you want to call it. But this, at the end of the day, this person's always going to be so stubborn and closed-minded with it. And maybe they're a teenager. Maybe they're just opinionated and closed-minded. It's just the way it goes. So I don't know. I just know that I see it. Something happens. I break it down. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of red here. So, I brought it up recently with Fear the Walking Dead and Will, because it kind of happened, with the red van that he was in. And then we know about the red lanterns and the red stuff from the Pike lineup, and the stuff are there. And there's been some red on the World Beyond, and there's some stuff, it's just, stuff happens too. So I agree with it. Some people do, some people don't. And that's okay. I'm not here to tell people this is the way it goes 100% it's right, because it's not. It's a theory. Theories aren't always 100% right. It's just not a thing too. So, Jonathan Wilder, I saw you had questions before about Glenn. Or did you see Glenn in the One Big Bang Theory? I love that show too. Sad it ended. Well, it had a great run. It was one of the biggest shows, recently there was. But yeah, Glenn, Stephen Yeun is in, I think, the first episode of it. He's Sheldon's roommate. He leaves. It's pretty funny. It's like he's in the show for like 10 seconds. But and I hear Lori is coming back. Is that true? From what I've heard, there's been speculation. I think it's We Got This Covered broke the story that Lori Grimes, Sarah Wayne Callies, who played Lori Grimes, is said that I don't know the latest report who said it, but it would be on Tales of the Walking Dead. So could we see something? And that's probably what that show's going to be, right? We're going to see Lori. We probably could see Morales. We're going to see I don't know how to say it, dumb stuff like that. Or stuff we don't really care about. There's going to be new characters. We're like, we might get one good episode. So the Lori Grimes episode, don't really care. New characters, don't really care that much unless it's pretty, good stuff on it too. So I don't know. It's just one of those things that it makes sense to have filler stuff like spinoffs like that. Is it going to be live action and animation and a little bit of both and here and there? Is it going to be worth watching? I hope so. I have my doubts. I have my idea of it. We'll have to see if it's worth it. But again, it's like AMC Plus, AMC Studios, whatever it is. Like, I forget what it's actually called now. But I want to say that AMC owns the studio. So they need content. They need stuff. They need to have production. They need to keep the money train rolling. They probably paid millions of dollars for the studio, the lot, everything there. So they're going to keep that going as long as they can. That's for sure. So, yeah. Yeah, like some people agree with it. But ultimately, so let's go back to one last thing about it. Fear the Walking Dead is the latest thing, season 7. Look at Will, right? Will died because of Strand. He was in a red van. It's faint, but it's red. The paint got stripped off it, but inside of it, it's red all over it. I mean, there's definitely something to it, whether you agree with it or not. But ultimately, guys, spoiler warning for Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond. We are in the last 29 minutes now for it. But I'm excited to see Royer 3. Let me answer your question here. Q&A, who do you miss from the show? And do you think it was a bad decision to kill almost everyone in Rick's group? I think it was a bad idea because The Walking Dead went depressive and dark after that. Who do I miss from the show? Probably Abraham. I miss Glenn. I miss Shane. I miss certain characters that were good for the show. It's probably Abraham. That's the first one that comes to my mind because Michael Cullis is great. Yeah, it was a tough decision, but it's The Walking Dead. You know, we're going to lose people for sure. So let's talk about Fear the Walking Dead first, guys. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4 focuses on Sarah. So Sarah is a character that is finally getting more screen time for it, and I like Mo Collins. I think she's a good actor or actress or actor, however you want to say it. So she wakes up, and she gets out of bed, goes down the steps, opens a door, and she's in this place. And we don't know where she is. She's looking around, and then a walker comes in. And she's trying to grab a gun or something, and she's, got the pistol, or it's like a old musket, and she can't, get the fire, and then poof, the walker's shot. Al's on top of the steps with a gun. So Althea, everybody's there from the helicopter, except anyone from the Civic Republic. They're in some unknown location by some place. The CRM connection has nothing to do with this anymore. Sarah hit her head. She's got a gash on her head or bruise and stuff. So she went down too. So Sadie I'll definitely talk about Rufus. Don't worry. So Sarah sits down. Luciana, I don't know how else to say it. Luciana is useless, pointless. Just, it's no reason to have this character on. She just has a couple lines. It's dumb. Daniel is still having memory problems. How did a walker get in? Well, evidently they didn't close the gate. Who's in charge of the gate? The guy with dementia, Daniel. Stupid writing. Doesn't make any sense. Are you sure, Daniel? Yes. Well, no. Great. So Wes, Charlie, Althea, Daniel, Luciana, some guy, Jacob or something, I think they said. I'm like, don't even remember or know who that guy is. And then Sarah, of course, Luciana. So they're the people there too. So, yeah, Winterfell 26, we're still alive. So Sarah asks about Wendell. Is Wendell here? Where's Wendell? They don't know. They looked around. And as soon as Sarah brings it up, Charlie magically just has Wendell's hat. This is all we have, right? So she gets the hat. She's like, I need to go out and look for it. I need to do this. You can't go out there. You can't do this. You're going to die. You're going to do this. I need to go find my brother. Wendell's a survivor. You can't stop me. So then Sarah gets the solar panel charger thing, a radio. She's looking around. Nothing. Calling the radio. Wake up. Another day. 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 Like a bunch of days go by. Nothing. She talks to Morgan on the radio. Morgan says, oh, is Wendell with you? No, Wendell's with you. I haven't seen him. Nothing. Radio dies. And she Sarah tries to fix the radio. As she's fixing it, she sees an SUV over there. So she's like, oh, hello, who are you? So she walks down there. Hello, anybody here? Nobody? Nobody's there. She looks into the window. Rufus is in the car because we know that Rufus is with Emil's brother, that we find out his name is Josiah. And Josiah is there and said, I heard you talking on the radio, points his gun at Sarah. You're going to help me find Mr. Jones. Well, what am I going to get out of it? No, blah, blah, blah. I am a tracker. I can do this. I can help you find your brother, Wendell. So Sarah makes a deal with Josiah that they find Wendell, though Sarah will bring Morgan to him. Sarah calls Morgan on the radio, basically tells him where Josiah wants them to meet. As they're going around looking, they kill walkers. Every time Josiah kills a walker, he buries the body. That's a lot of stuff. You know, you're gonna be digging a lot of holes. So they're doing this, doing that. Josiah's conversation is pretty hilarious. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Rufus starts barking. He finds one of the stalker guys, the people that have the stuff on their head, the stuff that was like the welding mask with the breathing apparatus too. They're the same people that were at the bunker with June and John. I didn't remember I talked about it last week. But June and John end up leaving the bunker. They end up getting saved by Strand's people. Now they're at Strand's place. So Strand has John Dory Sr., June, and his people, Howard, and then we find out later on that Wendell is there. So Strand has a bunch of people. Morgan has himself. He has Grace. He has Grace and baby Morgan. Not Rufus anymore. Rufus is with Josiah. So as Josiah has his gun pointed at the stalker guy, there's a bunch of walkers that are coming out of like a cart thing. And the guy is supposed to do that. So the big thing is that the guy is like a scared little, nothing guy that Josiah tells to strip, takes all his stuff off. But before that, Josiah talked with the guy, and the guy said that he was supposed to release walkers around. I guess radioactive walkers for some reason, right? So either way, there's a whole other group now. There's like Morgan's group, Strand's group, our group that was airlifted from the CRM, Sherry and Dwight's people that we'll find out next week, and then these other crazy people. So Rufus smells something, and they find a bandana that belonged to Wendell. So they're getting clues. They got the hat, they got the bandana. Take us to where you found it. So they go to a barn. The barn is full of walkers. Kind of call back to season 2. They go in there. They're looking around. Wendell's not there. But Sarah sees Wendell's wheelchair. It's got blood and guts, and it's all messed up. Sarah freaks out. When they're looking at the wheelchair, the guy that Josiah is now, the guy he's in his underwear now. He runs away, pulls open the barn doors, and all these walkers start coming out. Sarah freaks out because Sarah thinks that Wendell is gone. They kill some walkers. She jumps into the car. Rufus is still in there. Starts up the SUV. She waits and waits. As Josiah is killing walkers, she starts to back up. Josiah runs after the SUV, jumps in the passenger door. But also before that, there's one of the nuclear warheads didn't go off. It's leaking, fallout, gross material into the area. So that is kind of around the area. They find it later, and the same guy that was, delivering the walkers or putting the walkers around picks that up as like the warhead. So it's a dud warhead that he put in the back of his cart, and he's going to take it to whoever their boss is. So that's how the episode ends. But the big thing with it is that there's still pockets of radioactive stuff, radioactive areas. So that's my point of I don't know if they're going to leave the area. They just move away from the fallout in there too because they have readers. It's not really anything crazy. They can just go away from it. They have pills that can help with the radioactive fallout. And Sarah took some for her and Wendell when they're going to find it. The guy Josiah says, give me some of those pills. And Sarah ends up giving him some pills at the end. Josiah is actually a pretty likable character. You find out more about him. It's the same actor that played Emil So I guess they were twin brothers, which is kind of cheesy, but I do like the Josiah character. The actor does a really good job in this episode. So as Josiah and Sarah's driving, speeding down the road, or the iodine pills, yeah, exactly. Negan 1, perfect. They are driving down the road, speeding down the road. They're trying to fight, trying to stop Sarah from driving more and more and more. So Sarah ends up crashing off of a cliff and poof, hits down, and the windows break, and they're stuck. There's rocks around. They can't get out. There's rocks all around them, and just they're stuck there. They have a heart-to-heart conversation where they're discussing this and that, and you find out that Josiah was a park ranger, rescued people, and he needed to be rescued one time. And who saved him? Emil. He also has Emil's head in the box. That's Morgan in the Morgan Jones box. It's Emil's head, so he's still around. It's very important for later on in the episode. So Sarah gets on the radio and says, Morgan, can you hear me? We're about a mile south of the rendezvous point where Josiah told Sarah to have Morgan meet. They're talking, what should we do? What are we going to do here, there? We got to keep fighting. So they go out the back, kill the walkers, fight the walkers, do this. Morgan shows up, of course, kills the walkers, and they start fighting. So Sarah's killing a couple walkers on top of the SUV as Josiah and Morgan fight. And it's a pretty cool line when Morgan says, hey, I killed you. I chopped your head off. But this is the twin brother, not, Emil. It's Josiah. So they had a big, cool fight scene where they do this. Josiah knocks Morgan down, punches him in the head. Morgan's like, kind of wobbly. He says, or Sarah says to Josiah, you're not a killer. You can't do this. Well, I'm not going to do it. My brother's going to kill you. So magically, the Morgan Jones box with Emil's head in it is like right there. He grabs the head, comes at Morgan with it. Morgan's like smacks the head away. The head is laying there as Josiah and Morgan are fighting. Rufus goes over to the head of Emil, smells the head, and Emil bites the leg of Rufus. So Rufus gets bit by Emil's head. Sarah destroys Emil's head. Rufus is bit. He's going to die. It's very sad. Josiah says, oh my God, I can't believe what I did. You didn't do this, Morgan. I did this. So it's on Josiah. Josiah feels terrible for what he did. And it's very sad because Rufus is a good boy. He's a good dog and feel bad. And anytime we lose an animal, so Rufus dies. They talk about Rufus, and Rufus saved Josiah when he was there. So it was Emil and Rufus helped save Emil or Josiah when he was there. So Rufus ends up, being put down. There's a callback to the beans with the Tabasco sauce, and I'm not gonna lie, it's very sad. So it doesn't matter. Roy 3R, he's bit, he's not doing well, and Josiah puts him down. So Josiah, I guess, shoots him and buries him in a ditch, or not a ditch, and just a part on the rocks there, and puts a can of beans there. And I have to say, the set looks really terrible. You can tell it clearly is a set. The backdrop, the trees, the mountain terrain, it just looks bad. And it's only there for about a minute or so, but when they're burying them, it just looks off. And the same thing before when John Dory Sr. is walking around by the bunker. It's a set, and it looks like a set, and it's really bad. So those are the two things. Excuse me. So, Ty 25, I thought he got bit in the face. Sure, he got bit in the face. Sure, it could be the paw, the face. He's smelling the thing, so it fits that he got bit in the face. So either way, he got bit, he was killed, he was put down. So it's kind of dark. It's not well lit. You don't see Emil bite Rufus. You just hear it and whatever. But either way, it's sad, and it's very sad actually. The actor sells it. He tears up. It makes you want to tear up, and it's sad. So Emil's gone now. Josiah goes with Morgan and Sarah. They are going to go to Strand's place, evidently. So they walk, and they get there to Strand's place. They go on the platform. You're supposed to call on this phone. Howard and some other lady with a gun shows up behind them and points their guns at Morgan, Sarah, and Josiah. And Morgan says, what? You send Strand can't come down here on his own? Strand shows up and starts talking to him. He starts laughing. He has basically Morgan and Emil and them, they can't do anything because they have guns on there too. So they say that, yep, you're not coming in. What are you doing here? Sarah says, we're looking for my brother Wendell. Where's Wendell? Do you have Wendell in there? He's in there. He's there. We got him. He's safe. You don't see Wendell because the actor probably didn't film at all. But he's there. He's mentioned. He's there. We don't know where the kids are still, but he's inside there. Strand says, you know what? If he comes out, he's not going back in. You can't go in. The only way you're going to see him is if he comes back out. So if he comes back out, he's got to stay out. So Sarah says, keep him there. It breaks her heart. She's upset about it. Mo Collins does a good job this episode too. So Wendell is inside with Strand. So he's safe. But Sarah doesn't get to see him. Emil, talks with Morgan and Sarah. What to do. Where's he going to go? Morgan says, look, you can come with us to the sub. We don't have much, but we're making it work. Josiah, I should say. I would keep wanting to call him Emil, but either way, Josiah says, I'm not ready for that yet. And I guess he's going to go do his own thing. Hopefully he comes back around, saves the day, but I would think that he's not going to make it through the season, so we'll see what happens. But the actor does a really good job. I like him better as Josiah, actually, than Emil, and I believe it's the same actor. At the end, we see the same guy that's in the stalker outfit with the welding helmet with the canisters for breathing, all the clothes on, all the stuff. And there's a bunch of them coming over. There's a cart of people, and they're walking horses and all that stuff. And he says, what are you doing? He's like, I need to talk to the boss. I don't know his name, but I need to talk to the boss. I found something. This is going to be our ticket. This is what we need. This is what we got. And he's got the warhead that didn't explode or didn't go off. He's got it in the cart, and that's how the episode ends. Next week, we're going to see Dwight and Sherry. Aisha Taylor, I believe, is the director. She's actually in the episode. And a bunch of stuff going on there. They're in a wrestling thing, too. So it's just pretty cool. So Sasha says it's a biomask, Bryce. So, yeah, a biohazard mask. But it definitely is something that they made with canisters. But either way, it's pretty cool Fallout, dystopian look to it. So that's Fear the Walking Dead. And the previous one is with John Dory Sr. in June, and they're in the bunker, and John Dory Sr. is freaking out and hallucinating and seeing Cindy Hawkins, a former person. He ends up finding the body there, and either way, they're now. So Wendell, John Dory Sr., and June are all with Strand in the tower. So we'll have to see how that goes down. We still don't know what Padre is. We're still waiting there too. So now World Beyond stuff. World Beyond, a little slower episode. Jadis is actually in the episode. We find out that Jadis is the disciple of Jennifer Malik, as we know as Huck. Jennifer Malik taught Jadis how to be, just be what she is. We find out that Jadis talks about her past, where she was 6 years ago, and or in the past she did this. She was picked up. She talks about the junkyard people. How she's like, I started a community, and all Huck is like, you're an ambitious survivor. Ambitious survivor. Yep. Like I said, you're an ambitious survivor. Great. Okay, great stuff. But either way, Jadis talks about the junkyard people, how she created her own language. She created theater. She did all this stuff, and she cared about her people. She made the wrong alliance. That was with Negan, the Saviors. She didn't choose the right people. She should have chose Rick. She doesn't say that, but you can insinuate that. So she talks about that stuff, which is finally a cool crossover connection. It's not much, but we'll take it. And then she talks about that she was living on her own and doing this and with a group of people. And then she traded something that was very valuable. I don't know why Rick Grimes would be so valuable to the World Beyond and CRM. He's valuable to us because he's the main character. Does it fit anything? No. But will it make sense? Hopefully. But they have a conversation. They talk. Also, Jadis is taking the place of Elizabeth Kublik because Elizabeth Kublik is gone now. She left to go to the Civic Republic, I guess to go talk with Major General Beale that we've never seen. So that's why people are thinking that he's Rick, which I highly doubt. But so Jadis is actually taking over the office of Elizabeth Kublik, and she's there. She's like a warrant officer. So she's like a cop, a military cop who's in charge of taking over stuff and checking over things and making sure there's no traitors and no problems. She's there to watch over Huck, basically. So will we have Huck fight Jadis? That'd be pretty cool. I don't know if it's going to happen, but hopefully she'll talk more about where she was over the past 6 years when she left with Rick. She was picked up, where they went, what happened there. Was it Philadelphia? That's been my theory for a long time now. So we'll have to see. But they talk about that. And that's probably one of the bigger highlights of this episode. So Felix teams up with Huck because they needed to team up with that. So they talk about they were going to meet up with Silas. They never meet up with Silas. Dr. Bennett has flashbacks of working on the walkers with Dr. Belshaw. Dr. Belshaw drops some papers. Dr. Bennett remembers that. He talks about the V Project papers with the walker stuff and the different chemicals that they're using or the chemical that they did. So they talk about we see the back in the day flashback, but Dr. Bennett he's looking at the papers that Huck found last episode in the safe with the V Project. You know, V looks like it's a chemical agent that they use against the walkers or something. And so Dr. Bennett's trying to figure that out. Dr. Bennett, Dr. Belshaw, Hope and Iris have dinner. Iris is kind of a B to Dr. Belshaw. She's not really nice. She's like, I'm not dealing with this. I can't stand this person. I can't do this. So she's kind of like Hope. Hope kind of flipped. It's kind of like Iris. Iris kind of flipped like Hope, that we kind of knew was going to happen. They've been building it up for a long time. So the Huck Felix thing is kind of tension because, you know, we can't trust Huck. Can you trust Huck? Can you not? You have to. So Huck is kind of giving them information, the paperwork with the Project V and the chemical stuff. So they figure out that they have to go into this C-24 area, which is a cold lab. Huck goes and, you know, blows out the generator, or blows out the electricity. They have to work on it, and then the generator comes back on. Felix goes into the cooler and looks at different walkers that have been different experiments. He finds the green compound that we'll see later on in future episodes. He takes it out of there, but he gets stuck in the cooler because the door locks. Huck said that it would take 2 minutes before the generator kicked on. It went on 30 seconds early, so he had 1 minute and 30 seconds. The door locks. He gets locked in the cooler for like half hour. Huck comes and saves him. They need to work together, and they do. So we kind of figured all that stuff was going to happen. It's not really that revolutionary and that big of, you know, twists and turns and, you know, big moments that we kind of didn't see coming and we kind of thought. We see that the perimeter was waiting for a message from Iris, Hope, and everybody there. Like, they were supposed to leave, but they decided not to leave, to stay back, to work on to find out more about Project V and the experiments and Portland and all that stuff. So they send a message back, and Felix is like, tell them that we're delayed, we need more time, we're not coming home. So Hope's got to, Iris makes the message. She doesn't just say, we've been delayed. She's like, we're going to burn this place down. We're going to do this. So Elton decodes the message, shares the information with Will, the people from the perimeter, Indira, and her two kids. They talk about what are they going to do? They're going to start a war. They're going to do this. Yeah. And it's kind of hilarious that these people think they're going to start a big war with this big corporation, this big military organization, basically. But it is what it is. They're going to make it fall from the inside. I doubt they're going to really fully succeed. That's probably what the Rick movies will be about. At least I hope and think. But either way, they're building and building and building with stuff like that. So Will decides that I can't stay here. I need to go back and, find a way in and to help them. So Will and Indira's son, Dev, I think his name is, they go and they walk, and they're walking and they go tonight. They're going to get to a certain point, and then Will's going to go on by himself, and Dev's going to go back. They talk and they talk. They have a nice moment. Dev talks about a gun that his father gave him before he died. His mother doesn't know he has it. He's about to give it to Will, and then as he does, he's shot and killed from a distance. He's killed again, just like before. Will with Romano, I believe his name was. And Romano was killed, Will gets away. Dev is killed, Will gets away. Rinse and repeat, same stuff, same thing. So either way, Will goes out and he's on his own. Elton spills the beans about Indira needing dialysis and the meds and everything there. So there's a bonding moment with Elton and I forget her name. It's Indira's daughter. But either way, they talk about, praying. They kill empties. They have a ceremony. They talk about things. And Elton has a nice moment. I'm still waiting for them to get together, like Elton to kiss her, but it doesn't happen. So either way, they have their nice moments, and there's building something for that. I still think the perimeter is going to be taken down. But either way, Indira's son is killed. That can't be good for connections and relations with the perimeter and the Civic Republic. So we'll have to see what happens there. What else happens? You find out that, Huck is walking down the a corridor by the door. That's when she talks to Jadis. It's Warrant Officer Stokes, and he calls her a B, and they say this. Well, you can call me by my own name. We've been through a lot. And you find out also that Huck's husband is Dennis. They are still married. They were married. Stuff happened. Huck covered for Dennis because she loves Dennis. And so you're building more of that connection. We'll see Dennis next episode with Silas. So the Dennis, Silas, Huck stuff is going to come back around at some point. There's only so many episodes because I believe there's 10 episodes. This was the 6th episode of the season, I believe, too. So we'll have to see what's going to happen there. Overall, again, all these episodes, it's like stuff happens, but nothing happens. It's like, what did I just watch for 6 episodes? Nothing but something. It's something there, but I don't know, too. So, what else I'm trying to think about there? The frozen walkers are kind of cool. You kind of see the different patches on their arms and their neck, and they're working on different things. We find out about Dr. Belshaw's family, that she had a daughter and a husband, and her daughter was bit. They went into the house. The husband, stayed with the daughter. They're both walkers, and Dr. Belshaw survived, obviously, because she's there. But you find out a little bit about the past there. Can you trust Dr. Belshaw? Can you not? We'll have to see what goes on with that. So they're building for something, and we're kind of running out of episodes. So if this was the 6th episode, if we have, 7, 8, 9, 10, if we got 4 episodes left, it's really got to come together pretty quickly. So we'll have to see what happens with Hope, Iris, Dr. Bennett, Dr. Belshaw. I'm not sure if Elizabeth Kublik shows up again to the very end, because if Jadis is there, Elizabeth Kublik's gone. Elizabeth Kublik is with, Dr. Major General Beale and the Civic Republic, so she's away. So I would assume are we ever going to meet Major General Beale? Is he a fake person? Is he going to be seen more in the Rick movies? Is he kind of a set-up character? Maybe they don't have him cast yet. Maybe it's just, a name. We just don't see him. So we'll have to see what goes down. Maximus says, what up? What up about Jadis giving CRM something valuable 6 years ago? I'm guessing that was Rick. So when Rick, because the way Jadis was, she was with her trash people. She had a connection with the Civic Republic, obviously. She was picked up when she gave Rick away. The only thing she gave that was valuable was Rick, who she said was an A. She never had an A. She has a B. So she knows what A's and B's are. We're still waiting for confirmation on that. Still waiting for any huge connection with Rick. But next week's episode, we'll see Jadis again. We'll see Silas, Dennis. I'm just trying to think of the trailer. Huck, probably, most definitely. Felix gets into an altercation with the Civic Republic soldier. I don't know. Overall, again, it's like something happens, but nothing happens. Hope doesn't really do anything this episode. Iris is mad at the Civic Republic, and, it's the Hope is like Iris. Iris is like Hope. There's a changing of the 2 seasons. Like one character is this way and the other one is next. So, yeah. So the Major General Beale theories are everything going to be under the sun. It's going to be Rick, Heath, Madison. Carl. What are they going to be, right? Like, it's just going to be ridiculous. Like, so we'll have to see what actually happens with that. Hopefully it's a big thing for you. But overall, guys, that's my time. So Fear the Walking Dead Season 7 is a pretty good episode. There's some cheesy parts of it, but it's a good setup episode. It's a shame we lost Rufus. We lost Dev on on The Walking Dead. Tobias. Yeah, General Bio is Tobias. Or Major General Bio is Winnie, right? Winnie was out there and she took over. Major General Beale Winnie. So it's Winnie Beale. Winnie Beale. Roy 3R, last question. Q&A. Would you think it would be better if John was never shown after he was in the river and then he could come back in the future to meet his father? Yes and no. I like resolution of things, even if it's done and it's not good that the character got killed off. But the speculation and all these crazy things is just too much to handle sometimes. But that's the way it goes sometimes too. But ultimately, guys, happy Halloween. Have a good holiday. If you're giving out candy, taking the kids out, definitely be safe and sound out there. Check those candy wrappers and check the candy before you eat it if you're going to do that. I'll be giving out candy. We got a big bowl of Reese cups over there. If we get any trick-or-treaters, if not, it'll be for us. So enjoy your day. Happy Halloween. And remember, guys, with hard work and dedication, belief and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, making stuff happen. I either post my spoiler warning filming behind the scenes photos video today or tomorrow. Again, enjoy tonight's episodes if you haven't seen them yet. I'll be back next Sunday for our live stream. Stay safe and see you guys. See ya.